lalong nagkakaroon ng saysay ang sining pag nakikita mo siyang nag-advocate ng pressing issues that affects a community. So yung sining ay hindi siya hiwalay sa pagpapayabong ng kamalayan ng mga individual. Kung hindi, ang sining is really part and parcel of our everyday concern.
We're very proud of you from CEU now.
Thank you.
Conquering the world with arts.
I'm just a regular guy.
You're doing a lot for the...
Dapat informed ka of the nature, culture of that generation. Itong ginagawa naming isang project ngayon, kasalukuyan na dalaga na si Maxi. It's an LGBTQIA+ Pride Month project. So, sino yung kausap? The general public, but you're catering to the community, to the rainbow community.
Hi, welcome to Capo Jose, your local Escolaran podcast where discussions have a purpose. For our episode today, I have someone who is a very important part of the CEU community also. He is an alumnus of the CEU Communication and Media Program, no other than Director Melvin Lee. Hi, Sir Melvin.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for allowing this conversation to happen.
Thank you for having me.
And first and foremost, congratulations for the very first Concert for Peace at Sea. Right?
Yes,
congratulations.
thank you.
But before we discuss about that, could you take us back to your journey from CEU to now being PETA president?
I entered CEU 1983. In 1983, I took up mass communication. Mass communication pa yung tawag during that time. But when I entered CEU, when I entered college, I was already a working student. I never stopped working for PETA. No? So I was working while studying. I was enrolled for 2 years, but on my second year, PETA went on an international tour for 10 months. So that was 86, 87. So I had to take a leave from school. No, because
EDSA Revolution. Right?
Yes, because we did a play called Panata sa Kalayaan or Oath to Freedom, which we brought around North America and Europe. So we were 27 members, artist teachers of PETA, who went on tour for 10 months. So that's why I had to leave school. Then when I came back, I tried to go back to school, but still, I was still working. So when I went back, hindi na kinakaya ng schedule. So I had to stop. I stopped from 87 till for 26 or 25 years. I went back 2014. 2014 to finish my degree.
Just to get a diploma.
Yes. Just to finish my degree because parang I felt na there's something lacking. No, there's an unfinished business. So I decided, I think ang unfinished business ko during that time is the fact that hindi ako graduate. I was very much into theater and TV advertising work, but at the back of my mind, I know na meron akong hindi tinapos. So I decided to go back. 2014. As in physically, I went to school, attended each and every class, and I was, of course, the oldest student in that.
And the most experienced in classes.
Yeah, yeah. Pero so yun. So I graduated 2016. So tapos ako ng 2016. So I was gone for 25 years or 25, 26 years. Then after that, so nakagraduate na ako, meron na akong undergrad diploma, parang I was parang searching for more. That's why I decided to take my MA in Theater Arts sa UP naman ng 2018. 2018, tapos inabutan na ng pandemic hanggang sa natapos ko siya 2023.
Very recently also.
Oo, 2023. So, tapos ko na yon. So, yon. Pero the whole time kasi hindi naman ako tumigil sa pagtrabaho sa PETA, yes, no? Bilang artist teacher, and at the same time doing merong mga parang staff work, you know, as a program director, yung ganon. So iba-ibang mga roles sa company, So I really rose from the ranks, ika nga. And then, come 2024, August of 2024, when our elders or mga seniors sa amin decided na kailangan na nilang mag-retire by default because they're already retirement age, no? So yon. So yon.
Okay, teka, bago ka mag-palpitate, nag-e-enjoy ka ba? If you are, at gusto mo pa makapanood ng mas maraming kwentuhang inspiring, relatable, at proudly Escolarian, tutok lang sa Cup of Jose. So, kung ready ka na ma-inspire, don't forget to click the like, share, and subscribe. Ituloy natin ang mga kwento ng tagumpay. Kasama ka rito. But ever since, sir, have you also already considered theater as a form of, social change? Nakita mo na talaga siya.
Only because of my exposure in PETA. No? When I joined PETA when I was 16 years old, 1982, I had no plans. It was everything just fell into place, everything just happened. The universe brought me here and all that. So yun.
It must really be meant for you.
Probably. Kasi siguro yung pinaka-core of it is I found the reason, purpose of why do theater, what is theater for, the discipline, and then the reach that it has, the reach and effect of theater, and the advocacies na tinatakal sa theater, kung ano yung effect niya sa mga tao, nakikita mo, yung gano'n, no? Nakikita mo yung saysay at value.
Correct. Now, PETA has always been considered as a theater for the people, no? And very recently, last May 2025 lang, balita yung tungkol sa very first Concert for Peace at Sea. Could you tell us more about that, sir?
Okay. Concert at Sea for Peace is really a project of Atin To Coalition.
Ginaganap ngayon ang kauna-unahang sea concert sa West Philippine Sea.
Ang pribadong training ship na MV Kapitan Felix Oca ang entablado para sa kauna-unahang Sea Concert for Peace and Solidarity sa West Philippine Sea. Bahagi ito ng civilian mission ng Atin To Coalition.
So Atin To Coalition is primarily the prime mover dun sa pag-address ng West Philippine Sea, sa pagkiklaim ng West Philippine Sea, no? So yon. So this is yung Concert at Sea na ito is already our second engagement with them. Okay? The first one was November-December of 2023. Tama ba? Tama, 2023. Yung kanilang second mission, civilian mission to West Philippine Sea, to Pag-asa Island. So fundraising concert yon para mangalap ng mga materyales, ayuda para sa mga frontliners ng West Philippine Sea. So kami na ang nag-handle nun, yung PETA Plus. Yung PETA Plus is a unit in PETA which I'm also the program director. No? So yun. So kami yung nag-handle ng program, direction, management ng concert na yon. Tapos, nung gagawa sila ulit ng third mission, civilian mission, at this time, they want to do a concert on deck, at sea, sa El Nido, and sa Pag-asa Island mismo. So, tinap kami ulit ng Atin To Coalition. So, yun.
So, this was involved by a lot of artists, not just from the Philippines, no? But
yes, so merong mga, kasi ang gusto ng Atin To Coalition is to show the world that hindi lang ito usapin ng Philippines claiming what is duly right, our rightful ownership dun sa mga islands na ito. But meron din kasi mga Asian countries na claimants nung mga ilang isla. So minabuti niyang Atin To Coalition na isama at invite yung other artists na who believes in the cause, no? So yun. So aside from local artists, they invited artists from Indonesia, Malaysia, and South Korea. Yes. So yun.
Sabi mo nga din sa isa mong interview, no, art is not just for entertainment but also for social cause.
Art is lalong nagkakaroon ng saysay ang sining pag nakikita mo siyang nag-advocate ng pressing issues that affects a community. So yung sining ay hindi siya hiwalay sa pag-develop or pagpapayabong ng kamalayan ng mga individual. Kung hindi, ang sining is really part and parcel of our everyday concern.
Society in general.
Yes, ganon. Marami kasi maraming mga issues na kinakaharap ng bayang ito, di ba? From West Philippine Sea to poverty to education crisis to mental health to so many things. At lahat yon pwedeng makatulong ang sining or theater in particular to talk about these issues. And kasi parang proven na ang tao, ang ordinaryong mamamayan, minsan mas nakaka-relate sila pag creatively na i-discuss itong mga ito sa kanila. So, kailangan mo yung theater, arts, or sining for that matter.
Siguro mako-compare ko ito ngayon sa generation that we have TikTok, no? Pero mamaya natin discuss yun, sir. PETA has been in its
58 years. 58. We are on our 58th year.
Ito ako ngayon, nag-iisa.
So during the dictatorship, no, you had protest plays, and then you also have Rock of Ages. How is the changes or the evolution in storytelling like?
Hindi naman nag-evolve siya in the sense na new ways of telling stories, but in terms of its reason for existence, it's still the same. Ano yung ikinikwento? Kwento pa rin ng mga mamamayan na merong adhikain or merong pressing issue na kailangang i-discuss, no? Because at the end of the day, you are an art form, so you have to do it in the most creative manner, in the most compelling manner, because you need to sustain an audience, you need to engage your audience, yung ganon. So, yun yung mga nagiging pamantayan, no? So, tapos nag-evolve rin yung world, di ba? Nag-evolve yung, for example, pagtingin sa maraming bagay, no?
So, storytelling-wise, sir, walang masyadong changes, no? But you mentioned about the audience. There's a tectonic shift with regard to the audience na meron tayo. How has PETA been adapting to we have millennials now, Gen Z? Nagkaroon ba ng talagang malaking dagok for theater in general because of the changes in audience?
Hindi naman. We welcome, kasi and we cater to the general public. So wala naman siyang specific na kinikater. For example, depende yan sa play mo. For example, itong Walang Aray na i-remount nitong August to October. Ano yung klase ng play? It's a modern zarzuela. O sino yung, itutukoy mo kung sino ang kausap mo. Sino ang gusto mong puntiryahin? Ano ba to? Mga millennials ba to? Mga Gen Z ba to? Yung ganon. So, dahil malinaw sa'yo kung sino ang kausap mo, therefore, yung mga, dapat informed ka of the nature, culture, and of that generation. Yung ganon. So, for example, itong ginagawa naming isang project ngayon, kasalukuyan na dalaga na si Maxi. It's an LGBTQIA+ Pride Month project. So, sino yung kausap? The general public, but you're catering to the community, to the rainbow community. So, in other words, when you create a material, you need to identify kung sino ang kausap mo. Yung ganon. So, yun. Like, for example, kung gagawa ka ng, for example, No Limitang Herin na play, sino kausap mo? Di syempre mga estudyante. Diba? Paano ba ang nakaka-interest sa mga estudyante? Given this context, is it the TikTok world and all, the technology has evolved? Yung ganon. So, yun.
So nakikita ko ngayon talagang it's really integrated, no? Pati history, lahat ng aspeto ng buhay, no? It's also part of theater.
Yes,
yes. Now, what is the single biggest challenge or opportunity na meron ng theater nowadays, sir?
Because of the ephemeral quality of theater, meaning um, you need to be present in that space for you to experience live yung kung ano man yung experience ng panonood ng isang dula. Yun yung isa siguro niyang um, parang kalakasan bilang art form. Compared to film or television, pwede mo siyang i-pause at pwede mo kang merong ibang gawing muna bago mo matapos yung kwento. But in theater, you need to commit to be in that space with the performers. There is a moment, a shared moment kayo as an audience and as performers.
Being in the present moment.
Yes, hindi yun nare-replicate. Kasi kahit panoorin mo yung isang dula ng 3-4 na beses, kada panood ay iba-ibang experience yon.
Does it also say na kapag sa theater, it has to be explicit yung idea? Unlike kapag film na medyo matalinhaga siya or something like that.
Kahit ano pang art form, kailangan sa creator, malinaw kung anong gusto niyang sabihin.
Right.
Kahit ano pang form yon, kahit ano pang medium. Whether that's in theater, film, television, poetry, visual arts, like this, So,
Regardless
as
of
a
the
creator, your first obligation is you need to be clear on what you want to say.
The message.
What you want to say, who are you talking to?
Ito ngayon, sir, yung mention ko kanina about the TikTok thing, no? Siyempre, yun, mabilisan talaga, scroll up, and so on and so forth. Do you see that as also something that's helping, make theater continuously relevant to the lives of the younger population?
With the technology, I think theater as a source of content can be also a source of yung kung ano yung iba-viral sa TikTok, sa ganito, ganyan. So, in other words, meron din siyang magandang naitulong kasi meron kang nare-reach na mga audience, bagong audience na hindi normal or regular theater goers. So, meron din, I would like to look at it na on the positive note na lang, na itong mga technology nito, itong mga platforms na ito, ay nakakatulong sa pag-widen ng reach ng theater at pag-tap ng mga, we call it, indifferent. No, meaning yung mga hindi pa talaga na-expose at nakaka-experience ng panonood ng isang live production. So yun.
How about stories, sir? What are the stories na tingin mo hindi pa masyadong nailalathala sa any type of platform?
Halos lahat naman ng kwento na na ngayon nga napapag-usapan mo ng LGBTQIA experiences, napapag-usapan mo na ang marital problems, napapag-usapan mo na ang reproductive health, napag-uusapan mo na ang EJK, napapag-usapan mo na yung mga pressing issues na hindi mo napag-uusapan kasi matatakot ka kasi hindi siya wala kang kausap or hindi siya welcome sa eskwelahan or hindi pa inahayaan ng eskwelahan ng mga gatekeepers ng eskwelahan, yung gano'n, 'di ba? So yun. So and then anything, lahat nga, Diyos ko, kahit nga lang, 'di ba, kahit ano ngayon pwede mo pag-usapan kasi pag ano lang sa FB, TikTok or Instagram, yun na magva-viral na siya. So kahit iba't ibang topic pwede nang pag-usapan.
Right.
Yung ganun. Kahit nga pinaka-mundane things, 'di ba?
It's how the artist would create a story out of the mundane activities in life and all.
Pero sometimes the artist is just also picking up from the real people na nagpo-post ng mga content na ito. So kasi dahil din sa technology na decentralized na yung sino ang may power ng panonood, ano ang papanoorin. Minsan hindi lang artists ang nagdi-dictate noon. Kung hindi, mismo yung ordinaryong mamamayan na merong capacity na mag-record, mag-post, 'di ba? So decentralized na yung wala nang nagmamay-ari ng yung gadget mo pagmamay-ari mo, 'di ba? So kahit anong gusto mong ipalabas at i-post ay nasa individual na, 'di ba?
Sabi nga nila prosumers, producer and consumers tayo at the same time. Now sir, nakikinig ang mga estudyante ng communication and media o kaya ibang programa, no? What do you want to tell them about theater in general?
Theater in general. Theater,
or should they be embracing it because it's part of life?
Definitely. If they, kahit hindi sila hindi nila nakikita ang sarili nila na i-pursue, magkaroon ng buhay doing theater. Yung pagiging bukas lang, kasi yung theater is also a form of information and education on things, issues, kwentos that is relevant to everybody. No? So yun. So, theater is not something for an exclusive art form. It can be embraced, practiced by anybody who is open to it, who is willing to discover things using theater. Discover things about the world, about life in general. Ganun.
So the audience must be seeing now how important theater is, right? It's really part of life. Thank you very much again, Sir
Thank
Melvin.
you. Thank you
very much.
also. Thank
We're
you.
very proud of you from CEU, now
Thank you.
conquering the world
No.
with arts.
I'm just a regular guy.
You're doing a lot for the community. And that's another episode of Cup of Jose, your local Escolarian podcast where discussions have a purpose. Thank you very much for watching and bye for now.
Kailan ka nag-graduate sa CU?
2011, CEU Malolos.
Malolos ka. Okay.
Then now, sa Manila naman ako nag-masters.
Okay, anong MA mo?
Applied Linguistics. But I'm doing
layo.
PhD in Com now sa PUP.
Okay.
Bumalik naman ako ng linya.